What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Alright, so we are going to continue our coverage over X-Men comics as we work our way up to Days of Future Present. And now, we're going to pick up with Uncanny X-Men number 244. Now, this issue picks up right after X-Men Inferno. It's the way for us to move on from that event, but to also get us ready for the next one that we are going to talk about. Now, when it comes to issue number 244, this is also the first appearance of Jubilee. Yes, you heard that right. This is her first appearance, and she is a fan favorite character. But also, this is Girls' Night. We are going to focus on the women of the X-Men as they go out of their way to finally relax after going through a lot since the Mutant Massacre, Fall of the Mutants, and Inferno. The girls need a break. And so getting into today's video, we do pick up with Jubilee in Hollywood Mall. Now, when it comes to Jubilee, we see that she does use her abilities as a way to impress the people of the mall. And really, the people love seeing her different kinds of fireworks shows. Now, the regular day people like seeing her fireworks show. But when it comes to the security guards at the mall, they're not really impressed at all. Matter of fact, they feel like she is dangerous, also because she's a mutant. But either way, they want to arrest her and lock her up. And so that leads us into a chase scene where you have Jubilee trying her best to get away from the security guards, which she is able to do. But right after she does get away, you have one security guard being able to find a piece of paper on the ground. With that piece of paper, it technically says, hey, call in the M Squad. We are a new kind of mutant hunters who will go out of our way to help you with your mutant problems. But now we can check in with the women of the X-Men plus Colossus, but he's only in the book for about 2 to 3 pages, then he disappears. When it comes to the X-Men, I should remind you guys that the world still believes that the X-Men are currently dead because the X-Men had supposedly died back in Fall of the Mutants. There are some characters in the world who knows that the X-Men are alive, but it is a very small number. Now, with the world believing that the X-Men are dead, the X-Men are currently hiding out in one of the bases of the Reavers, a group of characters the X-Men fought right after Fall of the Mutants. And so their new base is located in Australia. Now, when it comes to the X-Men, they believe that today is going to be an easy day. They can finally relax until out of nowhere, you have furniture just flying left and right past different people on the X-Men. And they're wondering what in the world is going on. But they realize all these different kinds of furniture flying, they're all coming from one room, Rogue's room. It's a way for the book to remind us what is happening with Rogue around this point in time in Marvel Comics. You see, when it comes to Rogue, she has the ability to absorb people's powers, their life force, and also their memories as well. Now, here's the thing. Rogue has touched a lot of different people over the years in Marvel Comics, and sometimes they are able to build a persona in the mind of Rogue. Now, we had learned back in the Genosha storyline that she had locked away most of those personas inside her mind from different people that she had touched over the years, but one of them broke free, and that would be no other than Carol Danvers. And so sometimes Carol Danvers has the ability to take over Rogue's body. You have two different psyches right now trying to fight for control over Rogue's body. They're trying to live together, but unfortunately they can't because they think differently, they act differently, their taste is different. Like everything about them is completely different from each other. And so sometimes you have Rogue get very upset because when it's her turn to take over her own body, Carol Danvers would change something like her room, her hair, her clothes. And so the two of them will constantly go back and forth for control of Rogue's body. And so that is why we saw furniture being thrown out earlier, because Rogue took over her body again and realized that Carol had changed the bedroom, and Rogue does not like it at all. But while you have Storm and the rest of the X-Men try their best to calm her down, you then have Carol Danvers once again take over. And you have Dazzler say, you know what, we need a girls' night. Because by this point in Marvel Comics, Dazzler has been on the X-Men for a good while, but she had realized that the X-Men never get any kind of downtime at all. Even on days off, the X-Men are being pulled into different events around the world, and unfortunately, they never get a chance to actually relax. But for Dazzler, this is the perfect time to try. Why not go ahead and go out shopping? And so her, Rogue, really Carol Danvers, Psylocke, and Storm head towards the mall, the same mall that Jubilee was at. Now there is another group of characters I do want to talk about, and that would be the Amp Squad. Now the Amp Squad actually appeared back in X-Men Inferno. We only talked about them real briefly because when they did appear, they were a group of scientists who was just trying to study the Empire State Building to figure out why in the world it was growing. But then out of nowhere, they were absorbed by an elevator, and we were left to believe that they were dead. To only find out, no, they're alive. They left New York, came to Hollywood, and now they're mutant hunters. Now, here's the thing, because you do have one of the scientists mention the idea that they do have some advanced technology, but they have not actually tested that new tech yet. And for her, she said it seems like they are alive, or the tech is alive. Because remember, back in X-Men Inferno, we saw different objects be infused with demonic magic to the point where they came to life and began attacking innocent people of New York. And so when it comes to one of the scientists, she says, hey, this tech seems to be alive, meaning that that tech is still infused with demonic magic. It can go very south for the M Squad here if they don't use the tech properly. And that leads us back over to the X-Men, who was able to arrive at the mall thanks to the mutant Gateway. Gateway being a mutant who has the ability to open up a portal that could take you almost anywhere in the world. And so that is how the X-Men got to the mall. Now, as soon as they arrived, well, Jubilee saw how they traveled, and she finds them very intriguing. She wants to know more about them because now she's wondering if she's just like them, a mutant, which she is. But while walking around, you have Amp Squad being able to find Jubilee. And they're kind of like, hey, she's our target. Our tech says she is a mutant. So let's go out of our way to go ahead and capture her. And so they try to capture Jubilee. And because you have Jubilee about to be eaten alive by some kind of machine, it does catch the eye of the X-Men. And you have the X-Men jump in to save Jubilee. Now, here's the thing. The story does get wrapped up very quickly here because while you have the X-Men being able to save Jubilee, but also being able to take down M Squad, you have the X-Men decide to go ahead and go back home. And you have Gateway being able to open up a portal that would allow the X-Men to go back home. And they take it, but the portal does not close in time. And so you have Jubilee also jump into the portal because she found the X-Men very intriguing. She wants to know more about them, and so she goes with them, and we're left to wonder what could possibly happen next with Jubilee and the X-Men. But also M Squad was defeated and taken away. But with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.